The camera control units, or CCU's, four main job functions are matching and lining up cameras, creating a look or profile for your media production, quality control, and monitoring video levels. The way that you set up and control the CCU is by adjusting four main levels on each camera. Those levels are blacks, gains, gammas, and flares by using the Remote Control Panel, or RCP. To monitor your adjustments, you use the monitor, which is made up of four different screens: the waveform monitor, vector scope, camera display, and arrowhead display. The chip chart is the tool you use to get your camera's default colors and shades. Be sure to use the same light source as you will in the production. Be sure that all cameras are framed identically, pointing straight at the chart. On the right handle of the studio camera is a zoom toggle that controls the zoom of the camera when rocked right and left. On the left handle is the focus control that, when rotated, controls how crisp or soft the image is. Make sure that you fully zoom in when focusing to ensure that you have a crisp final image to work with on the CCU. To set up your camera's black level, you must first power up the cameras you need to set, and select one on the RCP. Then, you must select and hold the preset button until it stays lit to restore all normal functions to the CCU, followed by the Paint Enable button. Now, to start adjusting your blacks, you must press the black button on the RCP, then push the ND cap button. This singles out the blacks from the other waveforms for a more accurate adjustment setting. To set your blacks properly, you must use the R and B pedestals to align the RGB millivolts. It is very important you never touch the G pedestal. Then, to have the blacks at a perfect level, you rest the aligned bar on top of the 0 millivolts line by using the pedestal ring. Your blacks are now set and you are ready to move to the next step. Now that your blacks are properly set, you can move on to setting your gains. Press the Gain button on the RCP. To set your gains properly, you must overlay the three short lines in the middle of the waveform monitor above the X using the R and B pedestals until they are a solid waveform. Then, you use the pedestal stick and slide it forward until the short lines peak at 700 millivolts. Now that you are done the blacks and gains, it is time to focus on the vector scope to move on to adjusting your gammas. Press the gammas button on the RCP. You must use the R and B pedestals once again to properly set your gammas. The key to having the most accurate level is by using the vector scope and centering the dot in the middle as best you can. Flares are lines of color that are leaving the center point of the vector scope. To remove these, you must use your R and B pedestals so that the dot becomes more defined and centered. You can also zoom in for a more accurate point by pressing the corresponding button on the RCP of the vector scope on the monitor, followed by the 5x button. Once set, you are now finished properly preparing your camera on the CCU. Congratulations, your studio camera's color levels are now set up.